You're listening to Legal Talk Network.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Special Reports on Legal Talk Network. This is Hilla Shimshoni and I'm the host for today's show, which is being recorded on location at the ABA's Antitrust Law 2017 spring meeting in Washington, D.C. Joining me now, I have Scott Martin. Welcome to the show, Scott.
Thank you, Hilla. Good morning.
And before we get started, can you please tell us a little bit about yourself? Where do you practice? What exactly do you do?
Sure. I practice in New York, have for over 20 years. I'll say it in the worst possible way. I practiced for over a quarter century, most of that actually on the defense side. About a year and a half ago, I joined a longtime friend of mine, sometime adversary, Michael Hausfeld at the Hausfeld law firm, and we opened an office in New York in 2015.
Great. How was the transition from defense side to plaintiff side?
You know, for me, the transition is one that I think kind of started many years ago. I've heard from some of my, former partners on the defense side and colleagues on the defense side, and perhaps it's 20/20 hindsight and they want to appear smart, right? But we always knew that you were going to do this. It's been an interesting sort of eye-opener to see the way that the plaintiff side of the bar works. It's been something that for me has been fun. I've always liked in the instances that I've had along the way to do a plaintiff side case. I've always liked thinking about the complaint, how a case gets tried, etc. From the outset, as opposed to sort of focusing on individual defenses. But it's not been a complete 100% transition or step over to the other side of the line. Still do some judiciously taken defense and antitrust counseling work. And I think it's made me, a more complete lawyer. It's taken a long time, but it's enabled me to see both sides.
Great. So as we look forward to what's going to happen in the next year or so, what should we be looking for as far as the plaintiff bar? Are there big challenges, big cases that are coming up, or big issues, as well as what are we going to look for as far as this administration? Is there going to be a different role for plaintiff bar?
It's a huge question. I think none of us really know what the shape of the new administration is going to be here in the U.S. We only have, of course, 2 out of 5 commissioners right now at the FTC. We now do have a nominee for the Assistant Attorney General in the Antitrust Division, who's a terrific person, very solid thinker. Been a friend of the section of Antitrust in the past, and we'll just have to see. If as many people think a Republican administration is not as active as a Democratic administration on antitrust, which sometimes is the case on the merger side or on the litigation side, very often, the states in the past have stepped in to the breach and taken up much of the enforcement work there. So that's one piece of it. But on the civil side, it's an opportunity, really, for the plaintiffs' bar here in the U.S., and more so, I think, over the next year, the next 2 years, the next 10 years, what you're really going to see developing is private actions, civil redress overseas. In 2016, you had the EU directive on damages starting to be implemented in various countries throughout Europe. You're now seeing that. You're now seeing real private actions with litigation funders, with claims aggregators. You're seeing multiple jurisdictions: Germany, Finland, the Netherlands, the UK. Query what'll happen after Brexit. That are all looking to be hotspots of private litigation.
I'm going to ask you a little bit about the ABA, about your section, but before that, I understand that yesterday you were in a mock trial at the ABA spring meeting event. Can you talk about that?
We were, and I can proudly say that at least on one count, the jury deadlocked 5-5 plaintiffs and defendants. So we considered that a moral victory in the ABA, which certainly is open to members of the plaintiffs' bar, but it's often been tough in the mock trials to be able to do that. So it's a terrific program. The people organized that program, the witnesses, the support behind it, tremendous amount of work. The lawyers did a terrific job. We had a wonderful judge. And I will say, for anybody who's not done a mock trial, or for younger lawyers out there who haven't had the opportunity to see a trial, in person, it's a great experience there. And it's a peek behind the curtain for those who have not done jury exercises. There is nothing more interesting, more fun than watching a jury deliberate and seeing how various themes and various facts resonate with them. And that's an opportunity there, for everybody.
So in addition to putting together a mock trial, can you explain what else you do with the ABA section and with the conference or the plaintiffs conference?
Well, one thing I'm very excited about now, and I give all the credit in the world to our current chair, Bill McLeod, for making this happen in a very short period of time. The former chairs of the Civil Redress Task Force, Larry Sorkin and Michael Hausfeld, and Talisa Phelan from the DOJ. So I want to give all the credit in the world to those folks for pushing hard for a Global Private Litigation Conference, which is a number of firsts for the ABA. First time in Amsterdam, where it will be on May 8th. First time that we've done something on global private litigation, and this is the opening, as we just talked about in terms of civil redress in the EU. The first time I think you're really going to see a critical mass of plaintiffs' counsel, defense counsel, in-house counsel, and regulators together in a really unique setting to talk about what the future of litigation is. Not on a national scale, but on, we'll say international, we'll say planetary scale. And we're really, really excited about that.
Great. And if people want to learn more about the conference and about generally the plaintiffs' bar with the ABA, where can they find this information?
Well, we can direct them to the ABA website. There's a page there dedicated to the Amsterdam Conference, Global Private Litigation. On the section website, there's a brochure there that will tell you, all about it, beginning to end. It's a tremendous networking opportunity for folks on the plaintiffs' bar, folks on the defense side. It brings together some of really the leading thinkers in terms of enforcement personnel in the EU, and it really is going to cover just cutting-edge issues, one by one, 8 panels. They're only 45 minutes long, so they're fast-paced, a lot of information conveyed, and a couple of surprises too. And if I had to say one thing, it's remarkable. This, I think, in terms of the early bird discount, it's under $600 for a full day of CLE, and something that you really won't see, anyplace else. So if you can get to Amsterdam, by all means, this is a tremendous opportunity.
Great. And if our listeners have any questions or wish to follow up with you, Scott, how can they reach you?
They can reach me through the Hausfeld website, through my email, smartin@hausfeld.com, HAUSFELD, or reach out otherwise through the ABA. We encourage all sorts of young lawyers to get involved in the section. It's been terrific for me over the years. It'll be terrific for you, Hilla, and I think it's a great opportunity for folks.
Great. Well, it looks like we've reached the end of our program. I want to thank you, Scott, for joining us today. This has been another edition of Special Report. I'm Hilla Shimshoni. Until next time, thank you for listening.
The views expressed by the participants of this program are their own and do not represent the views of, nor are they endorsed by, Legal Talk Network, its officers, directors, employees, agents, representatives, shareholders, and subsidiaries. None of the content should be considered legal advice. As always, consult a lawyer.